Good day, everyone. I am Lisel A. Esteron from BEd 2A, and today I will be discussing the integrating ecological literacy into the curriculum. The Center for Eco-Literacy 2015, it promotes a variety of teaching strategies based on practices that are developmentally appropriate to student level and are based to foster knowledge, skills, values that essential to sustainable living. So, as a future teacher, we should know how to integrate the eco-literacy into the curriculum. That's why, or how can we help students to foster their knowledge, skills, values by doing their activities that connected or related to the eco-literacy. Students learn best when teaching strategies are varied that include hands-on activities, time for reflection, thoughtful discussion, and combine indoor and outdoor environments, including interdisciplinary projects. So, as a student, alam naman natin na ang iba't iba yung student diverse or diversity of learning ng mga estudyante. Ang iba is mas natututo sila habang ginagawa ang isang activity, then yung iba naman mas na-apply nila if ang teacher is nag-discuss muna, and then bago nila yun i-apply by doing outdoor or indoor. So, as a student, me as a student, natututo talaga ako na gawin yung mga bagay lalo na kung hands-on ito dahil may natututunan or na-adapt ako na new knowledge and skills by doing those projects. The interdisciplinary project is number one, place-based learning. So, it is an experiential learning that engages students in their own environment and a strategy that capture their imagination and advance environmental stewardship and civic engagement. So, in place-based learning naman is which is experience ng student by engaging other student or in their environment, which is yung mga taong nakapaligid sa kanila. May iba't ibang strategy na pwede nating magamit na maging instrument to form imagination and makabuo tayo ng isang interdisciplinary project na connected sa ecological and other subject. The principle of place-based learning, number one is place-based project are integrated back into classroom setting. So, lahat naman ng ginagawa nating project, which is integrated siya sa subject na pwedeng pasukan. Hindi pwedeng isang subject lang yung mapapasok nun dahil narito tayo sa integrated to curriculum. Kailangan humanap tayo ng way na kung paano yung mai-integrate into other subject. And then number two, student want to learn in order to apply their knowledge to solving real problems. So that's why malaking tulong yung mga knowledge and skills na natututunan natin dahil yung mga learnings na yon is malaking tulong na ma-apply nila in real life situation at magagamit nila talaga yon. And then number three, students play an active role in redefining and recreating projects. So, once the student encountered or engaged in doing those activities, maaari na silang makabuo or maging role model na maaari silang makabuo ng isang activity na connected naman talaga sa ecological and other curriculum. And number four, student collaborate with local citizen, organization, agency, business, and government. So, malaking tulong yung integrated ng ecological sa curriculum dahil ang mga student is nagkakaroon ng pagkakataon or experience na makikollaborate and doon nila nabubuo yung collaboration with other people. And then number five, students help make plans that shape the future of their social, physical, and economic environment. So, habang bata pa sila is natututo na sila na magplano for the future and ma-develop yung kanilang mga skills in terms of social, physical, and economic environment, which is malaking impact yon sa daily living. And number 6, students are encouraged to view their community as an ecosystem and to understand the relationship and processes necessary to support healthy living. So, alam naman natin na bawat tao is may role sa mundong ito, especially in our environment. Dahil malaki yung impact nito, lalo na sa ating healthy lifestyle. So, habang bata pa sila, is bigyan natin sila ng idea kung paano ma-encourage yung student na i-take care yung mga environment and mga bagay sa paligid. According to research, it reveals the benefit of place-based learning. First one is higher test scores. So, the student is mulat na sa realidad and nagkaroon na ng mga knowledge about ecological, then it give them a higher test scores. Number 2, better grades point average that related to number 1. It improve classroom behavior because by doing the collaboration with other people, which is may natututunan sila and nai-apply nila in real life situation. Number 4, increase self-esteem and problem-solving abilities. And dahil nga sa pagkakaroon ng mga collaboration with other people, nagkakaroon na ng self-esteem and knowing how to solve a problem. And number 5, higher level thinking skill, which is malaking impact yun para sa being individual dahil ang higher thinking skill is nalalaman na natin kung ano yung mga dapat natin gawin, especially in solving a problem. And number 2, project-based learning. It is a strategy that involves students in projects that use a variety of resources, including a community, technology, outside expert, written resources, and the web, while the teacher usually serves as facilitator of learning. So, as a teacher, which is gagamit tayo ng mga strategy na makakatulong sa student to develop their skill, which is the project-based learning. Project-based learning will be a strategy for students to use a different tool and humanap sila ng mga resources na makakatulong to form a creative project base that connected to the ecological literacy. Using this strategy or project-based learning, according to research, it shows its impact on the learner, such as increase critical thinking skill of student. So, ayun nga, dahil na mulat sila sa realidad na humanap ng mga resources or makipag-communicate with other people or outside expert people na makatulong sa pagbuo ng project base, which is nakakatulong yun or napapataas yung level ng kanilang critical thinking skills by communicating or forming a project base. And then, number 2, fostered positive attitude towards subjects such as mathematics and exemplary performance with conceptual question and apply problems. So, by integrating to other subject, malaki yung nagiging na positive attitude na pwedeng i-apply to a certain subject. And the third one is improve positive study and work habits, problem-solving capabilities, and self-esteem. So, dahil nagkakaroon na ng mga collaboration with other people or mas nabubuo na mga or nai-improve ng mga student yung positive study nila with other people, and then maalam na sila kung paano mare-resolve yung isang problem by using a critical thinking and their capability skills by doing those things, which is responsibility naman ng student na maibigay yung full capabilities nila sa pagbuo ng project. Pero based on my own opinion, having a collaboration with other people or maaari tayo makapagbigay ng mga or maka-adapt tayo ng iba't ibang ideas na na papasok sa positive attitude natin, then may apply natin in our own project-based learning. Likewise, project-based learning builds environmental impacts such as habitat restoration, modeling the evolution of agriculture, and changing food in school. So, that's why having a project-based learning is malaking tulong para sa mga tao or individual, even in agriculture, dahil mas napapagtuunan ng pansin yung pagpapahalaga sa ating mga environment and agriculture na dapat naman talaga is pinapahalaga natin. And then, yun yung mga food na pwede na nating maging alternative na dahil mas masustansya naman talaga yon kesa dun sa mga food na natitinda ngayon sa school. And number 3 is Socratic inquiry. This is named after the Greek philosopher Socrates. Did you know Socrates? Socrates believed that question, not answer, stimulate learning. Therefore, rather than teaching facts and information, teacher encouraged students to ask questions about their assumption, values, and preconceptions. So, dito lang is, ang teacher is hindi dapat nagpo-focus sa teacher-centered, which is dapat na-apply natin yung different approach na like constructivism, inquiry approach, and other approaches. Dahil mas natututo yung estudyante, which is kapag nakakapagbigay sila ng kanilang mga information and then mga values, mga understanding in the lesson. Hindi pwedeng teacher lang yung magbibigay ng facts dahil ang estudyante is may knowledge din. Kailangan din pakinggan yung mga idea nila. And then, mas na-enjoy ng mga estudyante kung sila is napapakinggan by giving their ideas and opinion according sa mga napapag-usapang topic. The strategy of Socratic inquiry has impact to student learning as evidenced by the following outcome. First one is student reveal their belief, his conception, and values, and eventually clarify their thoughts related to topic being discussed. So, sabi ko nga is, kailangan nating pakinggan yung mga estudyante natin in their own idea. Dahil may pinapaniwalaan tayo at alam natin na ang bata is may iba't ibang idea when it comes to different topic. Merong idea na kailangan natin pakinggan para mas ma-enjoy nila or ma-engage sila sa ating discussion. And number 2, student become more adept in critical thinking. So, by hearing those response of student, ang estudyante is nagiging active, and then yung kanilang critical thinking is mas gumagana dahil nga napapakinggan sila, and by that strategy, ang estudyante is yung isip nila is mas pinapagana nila at dahil napapakinggan nga sila. And then number 3, students improve their listening skills and learn to better articulate their thoughts and ideas and became more tolerant of their diverse opinion. Napakaganda. Ang student ay makakapag-improve ng kanilang listening skills dahil kapag nagbigay ang student ng skill, may isang estudyante na magbibigay din ng idea, and then magbibigayin sila ng idea which is nade-develop din ng student yung kanilang listening skills. And then by giving them that strategy, mas natututunan nila kung paano tumanggap at magbigay ng mga opinions and ideas sa maayos na paraan. Dahil alam naman nga natin na iba't iba or we are on diverse learning, makaka-encounter tayo ng iba't ibang opinions, thoughts, ideas, and beliefs of student. That's why, kailangan natin pakinggan. Now, number 4, experiential learning. It promotes student involvement in the real world and define the teacher as role as a facilitator of learning. the process of learning leads to behavioral outcome. So, it focus sa mga kaganapan o na-experience ng estudyante. By giving the instruction of teacher or activities, student will be able to do the activities or ma-experience nila yung iba't ibang indoor-outdoor activities, and pwede yung mag-lead to the behavior outcome. Magkakaroon ng magandang outcome sa ganung kaganapan dahil based on ating experience, marami tayong pwedeng matutunan pagdating sa mga skills, abilities, and then pwede natin silang ma-adapt in real life situation. And then, teacher yung magli-lead sa atin. So, in the process of doing those activities, matututo tayo sa mga kaganapan. Dahil process ang makakapagpabigay sa atin ng experience na matuto at ma-adapt yun or maging prior knowledge that will be useful in the next activities. The principle of experiential learning associated with environmental literacy. First one is experiential learning is vital to schooling for sustainability. So, mahalaga yung mga karanasan natin dahil mas nasusustain natin kahit sa mga activities in school, which is malaki ng impact yun. Kapag may na-experience tayo, maaari na natin yun i-apply or maging continuous learning. Number 2, only through direct contact with the natural world will student develop an in-depth understanding of fundamental ecological principle. So, base sa mga experience natin, mas na-appreciate natin yung mga nakapaligid sa atin or natural world that support us to live in healthy living. And then number 3, by working with others to solve real-world problems, they also develop skills at the heart of sustainable living. So, by having a connection or collaboration with other or teamwork, working to other na ma-resolve yung mga bawat problem na ating na-encounter, which is nade-develop natin din sa ating sarili kung paano tayo magiging problem solving in our own. Kung paano natin yun i-apply sa ating susunod na pwedeng kaharapin na problema na connected sa environmental na nakapaligid sa atin. And then, makakatulong yun sa ating healthy living. Kaya, kailangan natin ma-develop and ma-apply, matutunan yung mga bagay na makakatulong to sustainable our living. And number 4, when the student participate in experiential learning, they frequently follow the learning cycle. So, once the student experience those things, lalo na kung na-enjoy nila and na-engage sila sa ganung mga bagay sa paggawa ng project, which is malaking tulong yun sa ating environment. Dahil, kapag na-enjoy nila yung mga ganung bagay, is magiging continuous learning na yung magiging ganap, or the learning will be form a cycle, and then pwede nila yun ipasa by having a project na makakapag-develop or makakapag-improve sa pagpapahalaga ng ganung experience. And then number 5, this is a process that starts with unstructured exploration followed by the concept formation and application. So, lahat naman ng mga project and mga activities na ginagawa natin is kailangan muna ng plano or kung paano magkakaroon ng ganung project by thinking our mind, using thinking of mind, kung paano ma-explore natin yung isang project na yon na sa tingin natin is engaging with to other people. And then, mapapalo yun ng mga pagbibigay ng information na sa palagay natin is talaga namang makakakuha ng attention sa ibang tao. And then, by having that kind of strategy, pwede na yung ma-apply sa in real life situation. And dahil nga sa pagkakaroon ng isang activity or experiential learning, makakakuha tayo ng mga knowledge or ideas and prior knowledge and ma-develop yung mga skills, critical skills, values, and cognitive skills na mai-apply naman natin in real life situation or magiging application to the real world. And number 5, interdisciplinary learning. It emphasizes connection between traditionally discrete disciplines such as math, science, history, and language arts rather than limiting learning to one content area at a time. So, when we say interdisciplinary, it is integration to one subject to another subject. So, kailangan natin ng integration and na mas mapapalawak natin yung topic natin, which is kapag nagkaroon sila ng integration with other subject. The advantage of interdisciplinary learning. First one is when teaching and learning are organized around theme, problem, or issue, students seek knowledge and skills from a variety of discipline to provide an expanded and more complex understanding of the topic. So, kapag nagkaroon tayo ng mga interdisciplinary with the other subject, ang student ay magkakaroon ng kakayahan na mas maunawaan yung isang issue or topic na dinidiscuss natin sa isang area. Kapag nai-connected natin siya sa ganitong kaganapan, mas naiintindihan nila dahil mas napapalawak nila natin yung mga imaginary image sa kanilang isipan. That's why mas naiintindihan nila yun. And then number 2, when done well, interdisciplinary approach eliminates fragmentation and learning of isolated skills. So, ang interdisciplinary approach is nakakatulong naman talaga for the student fragmentation and learning of isolated skill. Mas na develop natin yung kanilang mga hidden skills by teaching a disciplinary approach. And number 3, it allows students to access a particular theme from different entry points as they work with a range of source of information and perspective. So, kailangan lang natin talaga na kapag may interdisciplinary tayo, which is malawak din yung ating mga source of knowledge para mas maunawaan ng mga estudyante yung ating tinatalakay. And then, number 4, it is also teacher to better differentiate instruction and create more interesting and rich method of assessment. So, as a teacher, kailangan naman natin maging better sa pag-isip ng mga appropriate strategies na makakatulong sa mga estudyante to create engaging, interesting discussion or method in their assessment. And number 5, it increases student motivation for learning as well as their level of active engagement. So, kailangan natin i-consider yung mga motivation for learning ng estudyante kasi kailangan nilang ma-motivate by having engagement in the activities. Kailangan natin umisip ng engaging activity ng student ay may enjoy yung learning at magkakaroon ng mga idea sa malalim na topic by using an interdisciplinary subject or interdisciplinary subject. That's why gagamit tayo ng interdisciplinary this interdisciplinary approach. Kailangan natin ng matalinong or strategy na makakapagpa-active sa ating student upang mas maintindihan nila yung mga complex issue at mga topics. Number 6, students recognize the value of their learning and became more involved in it. So, kailangan natin i-consider yung mga matututunan ng estudyante sa pag-integrate natin ng isang subject to another subject. And para magkaroon sila ng engaging and involvement to the discussion. And number 7, Students learn more when they apply a variety of skills to what they are studying and what they interact with their classmate, teacher, and members of the community. So, sabi ko nga kanina, ang student is natututo kapag nagkakaroon sila ng chance na maibigay yung kanilang ideas, thought, and opinion, especially in ma-apply nila yun sa pagbuo ng kanilang mga project or hands-on activity. So, collaboration with others or fear of groups is malaking impact sa estudyante dahil nakakapagbigay sila ng mga opinion, and then pwede silang maging open sa isa't isa at magkaroon ng communication, and then matututo sila na kung paano tumanggap ng kanilang mga idea or ma-apply yung mga skills nila by giving a conversation. And then number 8, interdisciplinary teaching and learning adheres to the principle that help define a sustainable living. So, when we integrate one subject to another subject or in our teaching and learning for student, is malaking impact yun sa ma-maintain natin yung magandang connection with other people, with the other subject, and masustain of our living. And that's all. This is the part 4 of ecological literacy. And thank you.